Hello, one alls. My view at Time Reincarnated Slime, Season 2, Part 2, Episode 2. And I've just gotta say, I am shaken. I mean, seriously, Yuuki's the bad guy? Yuuki's the villain? Who'd have seen that coming? Okay, obviously I saw it coming because I read the light novel, but weirdly enough, this doesn't happen here in the light novel. I mean, the scene happens, but it's not revealed to be Yuuki. The character is referred to as the boy, and his true identity isn't revealed for a very, very long time. Though by that point it is painfully obvious that Yuuki is in fact the boy. I mean, seriously, one volume light novel actually starts off with the boy saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go do X," and then the volume ends with someone saying, "Oh, hey, did you hear the Adventurers Guild did X?" Though even in this moment, it's pretty obvious that Yuuki is the boy. I mean, the boy used the information that Rimuru ate Shizue to trick Hinata into attacking him, to lure Rimuru away from Tempest, and to lure Hinata away from the Holy Temple. And the only people who actually know that Rimuru ate Shizue are the people in Tempest, Fuse, Aaron, and maybe Rimuru's class, maybe Rimuru's students, but that's, a very, very big long shot for one of them secretly being a villain. That would have been an interesting twist, though. And the only other person would be Yuuki. I mean, Fuse, he literally rode in a white horse to save Rimuru to help him in this war against Falmus, so that seems unlikely. I mean, that might have been him acting. Maybe he already knew that Rimuru won the war and he came in just to cover his bases, but I don't think Fuse is that good of an actor. Then there's Aaron and her party, but they told Rimuru how to become a demon lord. They literally turned him into a demon lord, so yeah, it'd be very, very strange for them to be working against him. The people in Tempest, they basically worship Rimuru as a god, so one of them secretly being evil just seems so very, very unlikely, and that just leaves Yuuki, and Rimuru and Raphael both come to the same conclusion. They realize that's most likely that Yuuki is working against them, that Yuuki is secretly evil. But there's not a whole lot they can do against him, because Yuuki is just so overwhelmingly powerful. I'm not talking about his physical abilities, I'm talking his ability to fight. I just mean in terms of raw manpower. I mean, first off, he's leader of the freaking Adventurers Guild. He has ears and eyes inside of every city in the West. He basically has full control over all the adventurers, and he can very easily use them against Rimuru. I'm not talking about even a full-out war, like him saying, Adventurers of the West, go murder Tempest and all its people, because that would end, very, very badly for all of them. He can just say, okay, adventurers, here's 10 gold pieces, go in Tempest, cause some trouble, break some stuff, accuse some goblins of trying to grope you, just cause chaos and anarchy and a whole bunch of pain for Rimuru. Or just say, okay, adventurers, you've been going to Tempest because they're evil and they're using their powers to brainwash people. Stuff like that. He could cause no end of problems to Rimuru just through the adventurers. Then there's his actual fighters, the jesters, Laplace, Tyr, we don't actually know fully what they're capable of, but Laplace managed to escape battle against a freaking demon lord, so yeah, they really, really shouldn't be underestimated. And then there's Kigali, a former demon lord. She/he might have access to her full powers, but she still was a demon lord. She's filled with knowledge and information and resources that Yuuki can use at any point to just cause no end of problems for Rimuru. And then speaking of demon lords, Clayman is apparently working under him, working under Yuuki and Kigali. So yeah, that's very, very bad, especially because we also said that Frey and Malim are working with Clayman. So yeah, Yuuki has every single adventurer in the West, the 3 jesters, a former demon lord, and 3 current demon lords, all working under him. So yeah, Rimuru can really not afford to act brashly around Yuuki. He can't afford to antagonize this man any more than he already has. And speaking of people Rimuru shouldn't rile up, I saw a lot of people online saying Rimuru shouldn't forgive Hinata, that he should go after her and try to murder her because, she is partly responsible for Tempest being attacked. If she hadn't delayed Rimuru, he would have been there, he would have been able to protect the people, and nobody would have died. And I just really have to disagree with that on a bunch of reasons. I mean, first off, if nobody had died, Rimuru wouldn't have become a demon lord, and that's kind of, important. He wouldn't be able to free Veldora, and that's just so many, many problems that Tempest would have had to face if he hadn't managed to do that, so we should be thanking Hinata. Secondly, Hinata is not a bad person. Rimuru calls her a cold-blooded sociopath, a serial killer. But, Fuse, Gazelle, the Archbishop, they all agree that's not who she is. At her heart, Hinata has always been a protector of the weak, a protector of the innocent. She wants to protect people, and the biggest threat to people in this world is monsters. Her religion straight up says, do not negotiate with monsters, do not talk with monsters. So when she was told that a monster had killed her teacher, was now basically wearing her skin, and was claiming he was an otherworlder, that was all she really needed to hear. She knew Rimuru had to die, and nothing Rimuru would have said could have really changed her mind. So yeah, I think there's definitely some possibilities for them to negotiate things, but again, it's basically going against her religion to negotiate with them, so that still might be an issue. That still might be an issue. But, regardless of all that, going against Hinata means going against the church, and that is just such an overwhelmingly bad idea. Maybe a worse idea than going against the Adventurers Guild, because the church is basically the largest military organization in the West, also the largest religious organization in the West, and there are followers in basically every single country. So if Rimuru actually goes after Hinata, tries to kill Hinata, he'll be viewed as, the monster that killed a saint. And if that leads to a full-blown war between him and the church and all the countries that are strong believers in the church, that would be bad. That would be very, very bad. I mean, maybe Rimuru could win that war, but that would be a bit close from comfort. And if he does, then he'd be known as the monster that basically killed their god, killed religion. And, the church actually has a whole lot of good. I mean, like I said, the biggest problem in the world, the biggest danger in this world are monsters. And the church goes out and kills monsters for people, so they're beloved. And Rimuru actually going out and killing the church would be, bad. Very, very bad. So probably best not to rile them up any more than he already has. Like with Yuuki. And this is also the reason why Rimuru is coming up with a cover story to hide the fact that he straight up murdered 20,000 people by himself. Yeah, because people would be just so utterly, utterly afraid to work with a slime, a demon lord, who is capable of doing that. They'd be afraid. They'd be like, well, what if I anger him? What if I tick him off? He'll try to murder me. We shouldn't allow this slime to exist. We should declare a holy war against him. He should be labeled an enemy of God, and the church go in and exterminate him. Even if the church isn't capable of doing that, even if Adventurers Guild aren't capable of doing that, there's still a fact that Rimuru, wants to be on good terms with humanity, wants to have a city, a country that can deal with people, trade with people, and can grow from it. So if he angers them off, if he's viewed as more of a monster than he currently is, that'll make it very, very hard for him to accomplish his goals. So he basically just wants to play nice with everybody, but he's shown that if people go against him, if people attack the ones he cares about, he will show no mercy. He will slaughter their entire army. And that's just who Rimuru is, a person who knows when to use peace and a person who knows when to use violence. But anyway, back to the beginning of this episode. The meeting between Yuuki, Kigali, and Laplace was trimmed down a bit in the anime. In light novel, they had a full discussion about Falmus, Hinata, and, then they were wondering, hey, if Rimuru killed 20,000 people, couldn't that have made him a demon lord? And then they all start bursting into laughter because it's such an utterly ridiculous thought. Slime becoming a demon lord, there's no way that could have happened. But anyway, to the things they did keep in, that would be Laplace sneaking into the holiest of holy places, the capital of the church, and discovering that the emperor of the world's largest religion is in fact a vampire. And wait, are vampires monsters or are they demi-humans like dwarves and elves? I'm actually not sure about that. But either way, I'm going to assume a lot of the followers will be very, very upset to learn about this. And somehow Laplace managed to survive his battle against him, even though he was completely cut into ribbons. Interesting? Good for you, Laplace. Good for you. And after all this danger, he's really hoping that Yuki's gonna give him a bonus. Yuki's gonna give him some sort of reward for all his hard work. And he did! Because his true boss, the true leader of the Jesters, has finally been returned to a physical body. Though, for some reason, it's the body of a beautiful young elf, which is certainly not what he wanted, but, it's better than sharing a body with Yuki. Apparently, somehow, someway, Golly's soul ended up in Yuki's body through what the light novel describes as a rather unlikely series of coincidences after her battle against the demon lord Leon. So, wait, that does actually mean that Yuki, the Jesters, and Rimuru all have a common enemy. They all hate the demon lord Leon, because Leon was one who summoned Shizue to the world, who treated her so awfully. So, maybe they could team up. Maybe they could go after Leon together. Yay! Probably not. Probably not. But anyway, Kigali used to be a demon lord, but now she's basically just Yuki's secretary. Actually, in the manga, Kigali was the one that led Rimuru to the room where he had his first meeting with Yuki, and she later brought in the paper that Rimuru used to make manga for Yuki, which... Seriously, Yuki's sitting here reading manga that was a gift to him from Rimuru while he's plotting the best way to destroy Rimuru. God, you are cold-blooded. You are so freaking cold-blooded. Anyways, big plan at this point was to have Hinata fight Rimuru. So Hinata would leave the church, and Laplace could sneak in, and Rimuru wouldn't be able to go to help his people when they were attacked by Falmus, leading to a massive war, and he could partner up with whichever side won the war. Though he was certainly was not expecting it to be such an overwhelmingly massive blowout, with Rimuru single-handedly winning the war by himself. Yeah, he seriously underestimated that slime. But anyway, speaking of that slime, back in Tempest, Rimuru was having a big meeting with representatives of several nations, and then just things are about to get started, Veldora shows up, and Rimuru just so casually introduces him like, hey, this is my buddy Veldora, not expecting anyone to have a complete and total mental breakdown over it. But they do. Fuse passes out, and Light Novel even says if Rimuru hadn't told him where the bathroom was before this, he would have wet himself. And Eren also passes out as well, I think because in the light novel, they went right from Veldora being woken up to this big meeting, where in the anime, they had the whole big party after Veldora woke up, and then they went to this meeting, so Eren had a chance to get to know him, to meet him, I think. Not sure about that. But anyway, then Gazelle and the Archduke decide to pull Rimuru aside to have a private meeting to discuss what the freak is going on. Because, yeah, even though Veldora is hiding his aura, as the Archduke says, no human or monster would be crazy enough to claim to be the Storm Dragon. And that's true. That's definitely true. It can't be forgotten that in this world, names hold significant powers. When a monster is named, they take on new significance, they take on new powers, abilities, and they form an eternal connection to the one that named them. And the same way, if a person declares himself to be a hero, they will attract the attention of demon lords. Demon lords will come to them to battle against them. We saw this actually in Slime Diaries. Gabiru did this whole performance, a whole play during one of the festivals, where he said, "Watch me, the legendary hero, battle against somebody." I think it was the Storm Dragon. And then an episode 2 later, Liam shows up and is like, "Gabiru, you didn't call yourself a hero recently by any chance, did you?" So yeah, names are super duper significant in this world. But anyway, then we have this private meeting. I really do love it because even though Gazelle and the Archduke realize that Rimuru is very, very inexperienced and new at this, they aren't looking down at him. Rather, they're correcting him. They're trying to help him as best they can, trying to teach him the right way to be a leader, trying to teach him the right way to rule over his people and to deal with other foreign dignitaries. It was a really nice touch. I really like that. Especially because the Archduke kind of came here to decide whether or not to declare war on Rimuru. In the end, he decided that Rimuru, he's a cool guy, he's not going to cause any problems, he's a nice person, so no problem. But if Rimuru had turned out to be an evil person, he was here to either kill him or to decide that their entire nation should declare war on Tempest and try to murder Rimuru as quickly as possible. Thankfully, though, they chose the path of friendship and the path of trying to figure out a way to cover up the 20,000 murders Rimuru committed, which... yeah, that's something they have to deal with. Something you definitely have to deal with. Like I said before, if people find out that Rimuru killed 20,000 people, they'll look at him with fear and anxiety, and it'll just give the church more reason to come after him. So yeah, a cover story would definitely be better. Though it is interesting that Gazelle said there are no witnesses to counter Rimuru's story, when there are in fact 3 witnesses: the king, the archbishop, and the mage. What was his name? Ramen, something like that. So, yeah, they have to be dealt with in some sort of manner. I mean, let's not forget, Xion was tasked with interrogating them, so... oh, that could have ended badly. That could have ended very, very badly. Maybe there are no witnesses left after all. I could see her accidentally killing all of them, very, very easily. Mistakes happen, especially 3 times in a row. There's actually a really great panel in the manga where Xion begins her interrogation by saying, "You made Rimuru soil his pure hands with blood, and for that you will suffer." Oh, I love you, Xion. I freaking love you. But anyway, then they go back to the meeting with the plans of how to cover up the 20,000 murders and discuss what to do next. And the, Hinata is a very, very big topic of discussion, with Xion, Diablo, and Veldora all offering to go murder her for Rimuru, which, yeah, that would end badly. I mean, Xion would probably lose. Xion would almost certainly lose. Diablo is a bit of a bigger mystery right now. I mean... I think he might be able to win. But, let's forget, he's a demon and she works for the church. She has all sorts of holy magic, which is super strong against him, so not a great matchup. And as for Veldora, I don't think Hinata will win against Veldora. I don't think she's capable of winning against Veldora. I mean, yeah, no, not so much. And, just my favorite part of all this is that Rimuru, just starts screaming at them, telling them not to do that, and they all basically shake beneath his word. They all basically apologize and hang their heads in shame. What are the people watching this thinking? I mean, seriously, these are 3 of the most dangerous beings in all of existence. Diablo is an ancient demon, Veldora is a freaking storm dragon, and Xion's cooking should be declared a war crime. And yet Rimuru is just so easily able to inspire fear in all of them. He is a true demon lord. And like I said before, everyone agrees that Hinata is actually not a bad person, and they encourage Rimuru to give her another chance, try and talk things out with her. Which, again, her religion says no talking to monsters, and he did just murder 20,000 people, so I can't imagine she's going to be all that willing to talk things out with him, but we'll say. But anyway, just the meeting's about to get started, Ramers shows up, smashing her head into the glass gazebo, which... oh, come on, Ramers. You're supposed to be a freaking demon lord. Act like one. You're making the other demon lords look bad. Though I am kind of curious how the other delegates are going to respond to finding out this pint-sized little fairy is, in fact, the great demon lord Ramers. I mean, yeah, she's overwhelmingly pathetic and small, but she is old. She is very, very old, and they've all probably heard of her. Actually, now that I think about it, it was said last episode that the Dryads used to serve, the Spirit Queen used to serve Ramaris before, she died, before she reincarnated, and then they went on to serve Veldora. So it's very likely next episode we're going to get a reunion between the Dryads and Ramaris. They're going to be very happy to see their old master back again, though they might be a bit disappointed in her pint-sized appearance. Oh yeah, plus Rimuru and the rest of them need to deal with the fact that Ramaris just said Tempest was about to be destroyed, which, that's a problem. That's a really, really big problem. Though not a surprising one. I mean, seriously, Rimur's already figured out that his mortal enemy might just be the leader of the Adventurers Guild. Hinata, the leader of the church's army, is after him, and they're trying to overthrow the government of Fulmus, plus they're at war with Demon Lord Clayman, and Rimur's kind of at war with Demon Lord Leon, so yeah, there are a lot of people that want to destroy Tempest. Ramaris, you really, really need to narrow things down at this point. Fun fact, she actually shows up in the light novel much later into this meeting, and she doesn't burst into the glass gazebo because there is no glass gazebo. She just comes in right through the front door, and Diablo catches her in midair and threatens to destroy her because he viewed her comment as a threat against Rimuru. I love it. I freaking love it. Diablo, you're such a good butler. It's also gonna be interesting because she's not actually supposed to be alone. I'm kind of curious how they're going to do that because, that was the one big scene that they still have not included in the anime. Season 2, Part 1 filled in a bunch of blanks, a bunch of things that were supposed to happen before Rimuru first went off to the country of Inglaterra to look after Shizue's students. But there's still one really big thing they cut out. And that was the thing that was cut out of, I think, the final episode of Season 1, where Rimuru summoned a demon to serve Ramaris. He appeared in the opening of Season 2, Part 1, but we still have yet to really see him, yet to really see how Rimuru went about creating him, because that's a very big scene, and a lot of people assumed it would be in Season 2, Part 1, but it wasn't, so are we going to get a flashback next episode to explain that? I'm actually rather curious, very, very curious. Please let me know down below. What is the big threat that Ramaris has come to warn Rimuru about? Do you think Rimuru should go to war against Yuuki? Do you think Rimuru should go to war against Hinata? He did kind of promise to look after Shizue's students, and they are both her students, so maybe not? That does seem like he'd be breaking his promise to her just a little bit. And what's the big cover-up that him, Gazelle, and the Archbishop came up with to explain how 20,000 people just up and disappeared on them? Really, that's quite a mystery, don't you think? Let me know all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video, and until then, peace!